Hello everyone, welcome to SoapUI training, and today is day 2. So till now we have talked about basic concepts of web services and some uh, XML, concept of XML, which is very important for SoapUI. Okay, so as we talked in day 1, we'll about SoapUI. I hope you have installed SoapUI on your system, and today we'll see I have noted down some points. Okay, so we'll see how we can create any project in SoapUI, and then we'll go through with these points. All right. Okay, so if you open SoapUI tool, so you can see this lot of information will be available on this home page. So this one is your SoapUI starter page. Okay, if you want to close, you can close it from here. All right, so let me close this. Okay, and on the uh, left hand side topmost, you can see the SoapUI version. Okay, so if you have installed latest version, so you'll see the some different. I hope it's a 5.1 or something. Okay, and here actually this one is where we create our projects. Okay, I have already created one workspace, and this thing, let me point out also so that you can relate. See, this thing is properties. By default, properties you can see here. All right, related to this workspace. If we create any project, okay, we'll see how by default property comes, and we can also create custom properties. So this is where we manage our projects. All right, and toolbar is here. Okay, you can see different options: open, copy, create, or save. Okay, and this is our menu bar. All right, so you can also see a lot of options here available, like SoapUI log, HTTP log. We'll talk about this in much in detail in coming session, so don't worry about these things. Okay, okay, all right. So what we'll do, we'll go to this WebServicesX.net and take a simple currency converter web service. Okay, so we require WSDL, as we talked, right? To create any, to test any web service, we require this WSDL. Okay, so we'll copy this WSDL from here. You can take any web service. There are a lot of web services available on this website, or you can go to, you can search any other websites also. You can find different kind of web services to test, right? So let me create our first project. Okay, so right click on this workspace and go to soap project. Okay, because we are testing soap based web services, so we'll click on this. Okay, so you can see here it is asking for project name. All right, initial WSDL. Okay, and by default you can see create request is already checked, and you can see create test suite. Okay, so we'll talk about these things, but let me first put this WSDL here. Okay, what we have copied from there, and it automatically gives the name currency converter. Okay, so if you want to change this name, you can change. Okay, don't worry about this. If you want to change this name, you can change, or you can leave it what is there. So I'll put here uh, project. Okay, sorry, project currency converter. All right, and by default, uh, create request is already checked. Okay, so I'm not going to do anything here. We'll see about these details. Okay, okay, so let me click OK, and let's see what will happen. So once we created our project, we can see here project currency converter. Okay, so you must be noted down two things. Here we got project currency converter, and again we got currency converter soap 1 2. So basically, if you go and explore these things, so you can see same kind of request is also present here and here. Okay, so generally when you create, by default SoapUI will create two requests, two kind of request you can say, and one is based on SoapUI binding, SoapUI version. So this one is SoapUI SOAP 1.1. Actually, this is a protocol SOAP 1.1, and this is SOAP UI 1.2, not SOAP UI, SOAP version 1.2. You can also see in the properties. Okay, so we'll talk about by default SOAP 1.1, and we can just delete this. Okay, we need not to worry about this. We'll see about this, but currently, don't worry about this. So when you practice also, you will see when you create any project, it will generate two requests. You can say two projects, you can say two bindings. Okay, so I have deleted the next one, is 1.2, and so let's talk about this in detail. So when you create your first project, you will see exposed methods will be, you can see here. Okay, so in currency converter, this conversion rate is exposed method for outside world. Okay, so if it contains suppose four or five uh, operations or methods, you can say, so it will create four or five operations here. It is only created only one, but because this web service has exposed only this conversion rate operation. In other web service, we'll see it will show some other operations or method also. Okay, so I hope till now it is clear. So let me, we talked about properties, so let me click here. So if you click here, you can see. Okay, so by default properties, you can see here name. Okay, and some other information you can find here, and you can also see custom properties. Okay, so in coming sessions we'll see about this custom properties and how we can use for our purpose. Okay, so at different level, here you can see workspace properties, here you can see at project level properties, and here you can see at operation level properties. Okay, so I hope this is clear till now. All right, so let me click on this request one. Okay, so as you see, I have clicked here, so you can see request properties here. Okay, name, and encoding, it is using UTF-8 to encode endpoint. Okay, so endpoint you can see here also. So endpoint is an URL to access any particular uh, operation or method, okay, from of any web service. Okay, so as you can see here, endpoint of this currency converter. So any web service can have a different endpoints, because uh, web services provider, they build their web services on different protocols also, so that it can be accessed using different protocols. Okay, so you can see endpoint here and other related informations. So if we see here, we click just on request one, and here we can see our request XML. Okay, so don't worry about these things. Okay, we'll talk about these things, but see uh, here, conversion rate. Okay, this is our method. Okay, and it is asking for some values. If you see here, note down here, it is mark, question mark is here. So it is exactly here we put our values. Okay, so let me maximize this, and so it has one method, conversion rate, and it is required two values from our side. Means we have to put, because if you want to check conversion rate from US dollar to Indian rupees, you need to provide here USD and INR here. Okay, so before going to see that, just check our raw, okay, request. So you can see here it is blank. Okay, what we will do, we'll just replace this with some values. Like I want to check what is the current conversion rate, okay, in Indian rupees. So I will just replace this from currency US dollar to US to currency. I put here Indian rupees. Okay, and if you go here, you can see this green triangle. Okay, so this is actually uh, to execute or run any request. So if I just click here, okay, you'll see on the right hand side of this page, you can see the response. All right, so see the conversion rate result is 63.6865. So this is the exact value of the today's conversion rate of uh, one US dollar, okay, in Indian rupees. You can put any currency here, okay, and it will provide you the conversion rate for that. Now just go to this raw, uh, and you can find lot of information here. Okay, see here we got in response HTTP 200. Okay, so it means this 200 is a number which is showing it is success. If it will be any error, then it will show some different code here, not 200. All right, and you can find here different information related to this request and the response. So you can see here user agent, okay, HTTP client, and some other information about this content type. Okay, all right, and here also in response also you can find a different kind of information related to this uh, request. So let's go back to this. Okay, and just if you want to check any other currency, so just put here European euro. Okay, European currency, I'll put EUR, and just click here. So it will show here. Okay, so it is asking for to save project. Okay, so why not to save this? All right, so let me click save, and by default I'll save here. Okay, you can also save this project from here, save all projects, so it will be saved. And so here we have checked for Indian rupees. Now we have give for uh, euro, and you can see the correspond respective value here. All right, now the point is, if we go to this conversion rate or this level, okay, so you can see different properties. Now but we'll talk about these properties in detail, but just see the case. I just wanted to explain one concept here. uh, we can manually go and execute every request manually from here. So there is a concept in SoapUI. Okay, basically we say test suite and test cases, test steps. Okay, so why these are required? Okay, because suppose there are 10 operations in this web service, and when you create project it will generate 10 requests here. All right, so if we go manually and click one by one and execute, so it will take time. Okay, and it will be not in an organized way. So what we do, SoapUI provides this feature, so with that we can create our test suite, and under that it will create test cases, test steps, and we can also add our different test steps we require. Okay, so let me explain in something here. So how this uh, test suite, test cases, and test steps looks like. Okay, so you can say this is our test suite. Okay, and under this comes test case. Okay, so you can say test suite is collection of test cases. All right, and under this test cases, test steps come. Okay, okay, so let me put test steps. All right, so here test case is a collection of test steps. Okay, so test step is very fundamental part of any test case. Okay, whatever you provide in your in whatever perform actually on application, so that we call test step, and collection of test steps is test case. Okay, and collection of test cases is test suite. All right, so you can see how well organized it is. All right, so let me erase this, and so just go to this currency converter project. Okay, and just right click here. Okay, and you will see different options available here. Okay, and then we'll go to this particular operation, and we can see generate test suite. All right, so if we click here, it will ask some details. Okay, but we'll not do anything here. We can just keep by default. So see, it is giving option test suite create, okay, style one test case for each operation. Okay, we want this way only, and create new empty requests. All right, and operations you can see here. So this web service currently has only one operation, current conversion rate. Okay, so it is showing one. This is if it contains some other operations also, so that will be listed here, and we can check which for which we want to generate test cases and test suite. All right, so let me click OK, and it is asking for name. So by default, I'll keep this name for test suite. All right, so let me click here. I just clicked OK, and you can see one currency converter test suite is generated here. Okay, and if I'll go to expand, okay, this one you can see a test case under this conversion rate test case. Okay, and if I expand this, I can see one test step. So see how well organized it is, and we'll see how it is beneficial when we'll do scripting or we'll create some framework for these any project. So if we don't create test suite, so I don't think we can utilize features available in SoapUI. All right. So let me check if you have any questions here. I just see. Sorry, I joined late. If it is possible, please give me a quick recap what we have proceeded till now for today. Yeah, okay. So we talked about how we can create any project. All right, and if you miss some part of initial of this session, so I think you can go to uh, our website, okay, and you can watch the initial part. But just for your information, we have created one project, this currency converter. We have taken one web service from here. We have copied this link, digital link, okay, and we have created here. So just for your information, how we can create, we can go to this new soap project. Okay, we can paste here initial digital, and we can give to any name for this project, and we can click OK. So it will create uh, one project here, and um, operations or methods available, or you can say exposed to outside world will be created here. So till now what we have covered. Okay, now we have generated one test suite, and under that you can see here it is one test case and test steps available. Okay, and this is our test suite level. Okay, so we'll see what is this and how we can execute. All right, so if you click here, the same way you can see the properties of test suite here, and properties of, so I'm talking here about, okay, all right, these things. So you can say we can create custom properties also. We'll see what is this properties and how we can use in our projects. Okay, and then we have one conversion rate operation. So if you just double click here, it will, one window will open. Okay, as we saw here in request one. Okay, so this is conversion rate is one step, and we can provide values here as we did in request one. Okay, so I want to check uh, conversion rate from US dollar to Indian rupees. Okay, so I just gave that value, and I can click here execute. Okay, so it will execute and it will give me conversion rate for 2 days. All right, so we have executed it from step level. Okay, now go to this conversion rate test case and open it. So you can see here currently it has only conversion rate, one test step conversion rate. So if we click here, it will, one window will open from where we can execute all test steps under this test case at once, means in a one go. So suppose there are some other test steps available. So let me highlight this. So you can see different test steps here. If we will add, or this web service has export some other steps also, so you can see different test steps here. All right. Okay, and we can execute all those test steps in a one go for any particular test case from this window. All right. So let me go and execute. Let me click here. Okay. So this green bar is showing that our execution is successful. Okay. This green bar is showing our execution is successful. Otherwise, it will be red if there is any failure. Okay. And you can see here a test is started at, okay, test case log, and different kind of information you can find here. So don't worry about these description, okay, properties, setup script, tear down script. We'll see about this. Okay. All right. So we saw how we can execute from step level. We saw how we can execute from uh, test case level. Now move to test suite. Okay. So currently we have only one test suite, that is sorry, only one test case, that is conversion and test case. Okay. And suppose this web service has some other test case also, so you will find those names here. All right. So let me highlight. So currently you can see only test case here, conversion and test case. Suppose it has some other test cases also, so those will be listed here. Okay. And if we execute, so for each test case it will show how many passed and how many fail with this green or red bar. Okay. If it is passed, it will be show in green. If it is failed, it will show in red. All right. So let me go to at test suite level and just click this execute. Okay. Run this selected test case. So see, it is showing it is passed with green. Okay. So we can see here it is passed at test suite level, and it is passed that conversion test case. All right. So this way we can execute at different levels, on test suite level, test at test case level also we can execute, and test steps level also we can execute. Okay. So we have talked about all this. Okay. This is our actually agenda what I have created here. Okay. And we have covered how we can create any project, how we can generate test suite, how can we can execute from different levels. All right. So let me check if you have any questions till now. Okay. Okay. So there are some questions are here. So what is raw? How can I do multiple requests? Each request mean an a test case. So raw actually gives out much detail. Okay. So there are two things: XML, in XML format and in raw format. So in raw format there are a lot of information we can see. Okay. So if we go here, so about this request, you can see lot of information available here. Okay, and the same is in XML format. All right. So okay, so another question is, each request mean an a test case? Yes. See, we can SoapUI provides two options. Either we can create uh, for every request we can create one test case, okay, or under one test case we can create each request as a test steps, okay. So it depends on how we generate test case or test suite. All right, so I hope it is clear for you. Next question is, if you have more than one exposed functions operation in WSDL, will we have more than one test steps in our test cases? So as I explained, how we generate our test cases, it depends. So suppose here I have generated uh, each test case, each request will be a test case. Okay, so I have generated that like that. So suppose there are two or three requests, like here you can see this conversion rate request one. So while generating, if I'll put generate for each request, generate one test case. So what will generate? It will generate. So see here, it has generated one conversion rate test case for this conversion rate request. Suppose it has another operation, okay, under this. So it will generate with that name here, and that will be also a test case. So suppose there are two requests here, so it will generate two test cases here, like how we have generated in this project. All right, and there is also one option is there. You can generate all those requests under one test case. Okay, so it depends how you are creating or generating your test suite or test cases. All right. Next question is, if we have more than, okay, I think I have answered this. Can we generate these test results to the project team? I did not understand these questions. Can we generate these test results to the project team? Okay, okay. So currently we'll see when we'll develop our, actually this is a report what we are seeing here for any particular what we have executed on different levels, set test suite level, test case level, or test step level. So it is actually a report, but how reporting will do we'll see in much in detail in coming sessions. All right, which one we should execute? So we can execute from anywhere. Okay, you can execute from, but uh, we'll execute from test case test steps level. Okay, from here conversion rate. So there is no limitation that you can execute from only from test step level. You can set value, as I said, for this in conversion rate request. I gave values for from currency to currency. Okay, and I have executed. So after giving that value, whatever is required, when you are sending any request to server, or so you need to give some values. Okay, what we want to check. So if we have provided that value, just open this. Okay, so if you have provided these values, so we can execute from any level, from test case level, from step level, or test suite level. So these values are required. Okay, and then you can execute from any level. Okay, let me check next question. Is this day one video available online? Yes, if we go to our website and under web services live training, you can find these videos. What are these a load and security test under our current test cases. So currently, we are not talking about load and security. We'll talk about this and how we can test. Okay, currently we are doing just functional testing. Okay, of any of these web services. So we are not talking about non-functional testing. So we'll see about this. Okay, so how we can have multiple requests under one test case. Okay, so if we go here, let me show you and generate test suite. So it is asking one test case for each operation and single test case with one request for each operation. Okay, so if you choose this, it will generate a single test case. Okay, and for each operations with one request. So it depends how you are generating your test suite. All right. So this is you can say a task for you. Uh, you can go and you can just uh, validate these different kind of options available on this while generating test suite and see how it works. Okay. Let me check if you have some other questions here. Can SoapUI generate test results report? No, it cannot. It can just only show this high level execution. To generate, we'll see how we can generate HTML report. Okay, can we generate test results in graphs or charts? Currently it is not available in SoapUI open source version. Okay, what is assertion in test steps? All right, so you asked very important questions. Okay, so assertions are very important and we'll cover in next session. Okay, with the different kind of assertions we'll see. So assertions are basically how we can validate our response coming from server is correct or not. It is uh, what we have sent for any request, we get a response from server. So those response are correct or not, how we can validate. So SoapUI give a variety of assertions available directly in SoapUI, so we can use and we'll see how we can use those things. Okay, in coming session. Okay, so next question, are we going to cover what is get and put methods in future sessions? Yes, we'll see. Okay, but basically we'll talk about assertions and then we'll move to groovy part. Okay, scripting part we can say, and in that part we'll see a lot of things how we can do. Means currently we are doing manually. Okay, uh, that we'll see in coming session also, like assertions we are manually going and adding assertions. But when we'll start groovy sessions, so in those things I will see how we can put all those using groovy script. All right, is there any difference between free and license version? Yes, there are some differences uh, in features you can say, but most of the concept what we are uh, uh, talking about here, it will be same, but some features will be different in pro version and open source version. All right, how about and or logical operators? Yeah, we'll talk about this in when we'll start our groovy scripting part. Do you have any test plan which describe progress and what we'll do next? Currently we don't have any test plan. Okay, so we have a agenda for each sessions as you can see here. Okay, and I'll save it in Google Drive and I'll provide access to you all guys. Yes, Rajvi will cover RESTful web services also. Okay, after this SOAP based web services. So currently we are talking about SOAP based web services, and after this we'll talk how we can test RESTful web services also. Okay, so next question is how many classes will be for this course, and when it will be end. So it will have 12 to 13 sessions to complete. Okay, and if you have I hope it will be end in mid of June, you can say, or last week of June, because we are meeting 3 times in a week. So uh, it will be in I think in last week of June. All right, so I don't see any other questions here. So I think I'm done for today, and we'll talk about some other important topics like assertions and others. And one more important thing is properties. All right. So after assertions, we'll talk about properties. So these two are very important topics in terms of SOAP UI. So we'll meet in next session and we'll talk about more on these important concepts. Okay. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining. Bye for now. We'll meet in next session. Bye.